Hi, this is Joseph. It's December 30th, 2020. We're looking at the pound dollar right now, and I want to talk about a trade that we just closed out. It has reached our target here, which is the 1.3640. Our entry was 1.3460. This paid approximately 180 pips, and this was actually an entry that developed yesterday. You can see here on the 28th. I'm sorry, it was about a day and a half ago. So it was on the 28th. And this gave us a buy opportunity, and I'm going to show you some of the details that I use as far as confirmation. I actually teach this strategy. This is one of the primary trading strategies that I teach my coaching students in my new point and figure online trading course. I teach them trades like this develop. I teach them how to use this method and how to set up their charts just like mine. I walk them through step by step exactly how to construct and create the point and figure chart so that they can get results like this and they can figure out the count, which is, we refer to it as fuel in the tank. So when we see a range of consolidation, let's say it's accumulation or distribution, depending on which direction you're trading it in, and we get that phase, we get that base in place, we are able to then at that point determine some kind of a count, which would be how far is price likely to go? Where could we trade this to? How long should we hold on to the trade if we're profitable? I see that happen with many traders. I used to do the same thing back in 2001. I would get into some of these trades. I was just lucky. We all do it at some point. And, I would be up maybe 40, 60 pips, and I would think, this is awesome. I want more. Maybe I could get 80. Maybe I could get 90. And usually, a lot of it was just unjustified take profit targets. I was just hoping for more money, not necessarily understanding the mechanics behind price action, supply and demand, and where price is likely to go. But point and figure, once I started using point and figure, I could then accurately calculate where price was likely to go. So with an entry of 1.3460, we really didn't worry about it. We just let the trade work all the way here to the target at 1.3640. That's 160 pips. I'm sorry, 180 pips. So that's 180 pips profit. And there, again, really wasn't anything to worry about as the trade worked out on its own. It was just a matter of waiting for it. And we clearly, accurately were able to read this. And sometimes it'll overshoot, a target. And the key here is that if it is going to continue and it's going to continue to trend higher, I'll show you in just a moment my monthly time frame and what I'm expecting here next. It's going to give me additional resources. It's going to give me additional areas that I can add to the overall count to project a much further target. So if this is going to trend higher, you can see it's already going through the 1.3640. I have additional take profit levels much higher. So I could get into this trade, let's say, at another time, maybe later on this evening, later on tomorrow, if it gives me a second or a third entry opportunity. You can kind of see how along the way, as this was unfolding and this was developing, the trade and the trend was developing in this upward move to the target, I had areas of reaccumulation along the way, and it allowed me to, let's say, if I missed the initial entry, I could get in at a second or a third entry opportunity. I teach exactly how to do this. When you learn how to use and apply, principles like this, being able to identify clearly accumulation and distribution, which is, again, consolidation phases at support or resistance. So being able to read this and to identify accumulation and distribution and to identify the phases along the way and to understand when it's likely to experience the next markup phase, which is this uptrend, and why it's actually happening, that's what allows you to get into these trades at precise locations using the point and figure, and then calculate some kind of a take profit level so that you know how long to hold on to the trade. This is an awesome trade. To be able to make 180 pips on a trade like this is, this opportunity sets up all the time. Now, I'm not going to say that you get a trade like this every single day because that's not true. The market's only going to give us opportunities like this a few times out of the month. But we know that we see moves like this happening on a pretty consistent basis. This is for day trades. Now, I teach in my trading course how to use the point and figure so that you can slow things down and you can trade for, let's say, swing trades, let's say off of the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly. So if you're working a full-time job, you can then sort of shift based on the way you construct your chart, your point and figure chart, and you can get much larger counts. It's going to give you a better opportunity to get in the trade and manage the trade over the course of, let's say, a day or two or three or even a week or so, again, with swing trades. This trade was more of a day trade, and I teach both. I teach how to day trade with point and figure, and I also teach how to swing trade with point and figure. It's really important that you have the ability and the flexibility to do both, because life is going to change, right? Sometimes you're going to be busier at some times in your life, and not as busy. You're going to be able to apply more time to trading. When you can apply more time and more hours to trading, it's kind of fun to day trade. It's just kind of extra money. You get trades like this all the time, and it could be that you're in a bigger overall trade. And I'll show you in just a moment here. We're going to take a look at my monthly chart. So this is a chart that I've been showing my coaching students for the last year approximately. And this is the monthly time frame on the pound dollar. And you can see here we were identifying this range of accumulation down here. This was a clear range of accumulation. We had these moves to the downside. I'm not going to get into the detail, but I explain exactly what these moves to the downside, what they mean, how you can identify them, the footprint, the volume, the reversal patterns that create down here at support or resistance, depending on which direction you're trading it in. And you can see I've got another take profit level here at the 1.3720 area, and then another count, which is the 1.4178 or 80 area. Now, if it stalls along the way, I can also identify that so that I can close out the trade and I don't give back too much of the profits. But these are massive moves, massive trades, and we've actually traded this in this move off of support to the upside over the past few months, over and over and over again, watching this unfold as it continues to move. And this is all considering the bad negative news with Brexit and the Eurozone negotiations and all of that. We still kept trading this technically. There was nothing wrong with the trade outside of these little pullbacks here, which is very, very typical, the wave movement. I teach you exactly how to analyze and dissect the information that's going on here so that you don't get stuck on the wrong side of the trade. This is big money. This is smart money. This is what we would also refer to as the composite man stepping in at these locations and starting to drive price. We're expecting price to potentially take out the highs if we get additional forms of confirmation. And I update my coaching students with daily updates, weekly updates, and I do a once a month workshop for all of my coaching students, and we review this data. So again, you can take this information and these trading strategies and apply them to any market you want to trade: stocks, indices, Forex, commodities, Bitcoin, crypto. I trade Bitcoin using the same system over the weekend. It's an amazing experience once you understand why price is moving, you understand the mechanics behind supply and demand and how to identify it and read it on the charts. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of new traders. They get into the business, they think it's going to be easy. I know I was one of them. I used to think the same thing. I thought I was pretty smart. How could this be difficult? I'll figure this out. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And the reason that I experienced that difficulty, and the reason that a lot of new traders experience that difficulty, is that they start off looking at or studying the wrong information. They want it to be easy. They don't even understand why they're using certain indicators or the mechanics behind those indicators. We don't really rely on indicators in this trading course. The only indicator that I really use, and the one that I really focus in on and I teach my coaching students how to use, is volume. And I'll teach you how to use volume, because volume by itself can be pretty tricky as an indicator to look at all by itself. It can be pretty tricky if you don't know how to read it. So you've got to know how to read it. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I teach this strategy, this system, the same trade, the same technique that led to 180 pips here on this trade. My coaching students were able to get this. I sent them out a message prior to this move here as we were analyzing this data, and I let the trade unfold and continue to update them at the end of each day if it's going to continue to work, or if my analysis would indicate possibly some kind of a reversal or a turning point and we should lock in profits. You can do this. You can do this. This is the way to trade. These are the secrets that some of the top professionals over the course of the last 100 years have been using. You need to learn how to do this, because again, if you learn these techniques and these strategies, you can apply this to any market you want to trade. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you had a great trading day. I look forward to trading with you. I still have the doors open to my online trading course. And if you're ready to make 2021 the year that you actually succeed in this business, this is the trading course that you want to use.